Wow.
Boogaloo.
Films. Bad films. Lots of films. Very, very bad films. Films. Watch that film. Then talk about it. It's Electric Boogaloo with Matt and Keenan.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Electric Boogaloo, the show where we make bad films worse. I'm a project executive produced by Zeus, Matthew Bradley.
I am a hip-hop vicar who loves the colour white. Keenan Groom.
This week on the show, before we get started, I want to say it's the start of June, and I want to say Happy Pride, everyone, and Black Lives Matter, and those are important things to get out of the way.
Yeah.
Not get out of the way, you know what I mean, to say at the start of the show. And then the film we watched this week, oh my god, what the hell?
No Steam, I will not load you. Carry on. My computer's trying to load programs for no reason. And talk about no reason, this film.
Yeah, so we watched a film called I'm in Love with the Church Girl. This is 2013 film?
Yes, yeah, I put down 2013.
Yeah, and it is all about a former drug dealer, current drug dealer, maybe?
Former who is still slowly changing into a good person.
Yeah, he's still like laundering.
Still got the repercussions and stuff, hasn't he?
Yeah, and he's played by Ja Rule, and it's all about him falling in love with the church girl and being sponsored by sandals.
Yep, that is the whole film. I know. I messaged you after we watched it that it was way too long. It could have easily been 30 minutes short, and you'd got the same gist.
For sure, yeah. We'll get to talking about details and stuff, but one of the weirder viewing experiences for me, I think.
Yeah. Just
because I had no idea what to expect with this one. I found this movie from a Tumblr post of a Twitter thread where people were discussing the worst films they'd ever seen and posted about that one. I thought, yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah, I've never heard of it. So, because like all these really bad films have got some like cult status, but this one, never heard of it before, which is great.
I feel like it could.
Oh, 100%. If watched properly.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's one of those ones that some people were really bad in it, but the bad characters were acted well, sort of thing. So like some people were acting well, but their character was badly written, so they couldn't do much with it. That makes sense.
Some people were acting very badly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Would you like a little snack?
I would like a little snack.
Well, how about 4? I've changed it up today. There was ones, I found some cinema snacks that seemed quite... They weren't too bizarre. They seemed sort of like their country's version of a popcorn sort of thing. So I didn't really want to, that was going to be very obvious what the sort of things were. But what I've done this week is I found 4 snacks that seem very obvious where they're from, but they're not from the most obvious country that you think of first. That makes sense.
Right, okay.
So say, for instance, let's talk about French fries, but it wasn't an American snack. It was a snack from Kenya.
I see. Right, so this week I'm guessing the country.
This week you're going to guess the country, and I'm going to give you 4 cinema snacks that seem obvious at first where they're from, but they're not from the most obvious countries.
Okay, and am I guessing like a different country for each snack, or all 4 of these in the same country?
They're all different countries.
Right, okay.
So the first one is sushi.
Okay, so it's clearly not going to be Japan.
Nope.
I don't think it's going to be from South Korea, because that's where the cuttlefish was from.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with they have sushi in Norway.
I understand that because of see all the fish and stuff. But no, this is the home of the ant snack. It's Colombia.
Oh.
There you go. Colombia likes to have, they've got their own little sushi bar in a lot of movie theatres.
That sounds great.
Yeah, it does sound really nice, actually. This one, churros. Churros, Caruros. So obviously this one, not Mexico or any Latin American country.
I'm going to go with France.
Japan.
And I think specifically Japan, okay.
Yeah, what was your reason behind France?
The reason I thought France was I was thinking it was going to be a Disney country, so a country with a Disneyland. And It started in like a Disney cinema and spread.
Yeah, they have. Do they have Disneyland?
To be fair,
Japan?
Yeah, they have Tokyo.
Yeah, so it might be that. This one is popcorn, but the popcorn comes with cheese and barbecue sauce.
Okay, so it's not going to be America.
There was one talking about popcorn. There was one which is in Hawaii that they put seaweed flakes in.
Not for me, but that sounds like something you would like.
I don't think with popcorn. Might be a bit too.
Maybe.
Oceany.
Cheese and barbecue sauce on popcorn. I'm going to go with Australia.
It's quite close. It's the Philippines.
Oh, not bad.
Yeah. I said there's 4. There's actually 5. This one, samosas.
Okay, so again, not going to be India.
Nope.
I'm going to go with China.
Try the other side of the world. Well, if you have a flat map. If you look at like a map, I suppose, the globe that...
So like South America, so Argentina maybe?
This is from Barbados.
Oh.
They have samosas in Barbados. There you are. And the last one, this one is 2 things. This place can offer you fish and chips, but it also, if you wanted to, could offer you spaghetti.
It's like a world buffet cinema somewhere.
I'm trying to work out whether it's spaghetti in the American sense, where it's spaghetti bolognese, or if we said, do you want some spaghetti here in England, it's just some dry...
Just some noodles.
Just some noodles.
It's again a country and not a specific place in the country?
Yeah.
Because my instinct is saying like it's going to be Las Vegas, but if it's a country...
No, it's a country, yeah.
I'm going to say Japan.
Ooh, Indonesia.
Oh.
You've got the right sort of areas for most of them, but not... A little bit harder this week, but I just saw them when this is one of those ones that if I explained it, the country might be too hard to get because you'd go for the obvious one. So I thought I'd do it the other way around.
I'm weirded out by the idea of having fish and chips in a cinema. Yeah. I suppose like some people do have like the nachos and the hot dog and they're smelly. The fish and chips seems like a lot.
It seems like nachos, is annoying for other people, but having a meal in a cinema is bizarre. Sweden, though, it was BYO snacks. Is what they called it.
Okay.
Which is basically, what we do here in British cinemas is just smuggle stuff. This is like you can bring your own sandwiches in and stuff, which is
sensible.
Sensible, yeah.
Cinema snacks are really overpriced.
Yep.
I do miss them, though. I do very much miss them.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, I always try and get cinema-style popcorn at home, but it's not quite the same. It must be some of it sitting there and slightly staling that maybe makes it...
It's like the oil it's cooked in or something.
Yeah.
I think there's a Binging with Babish video that teaches you how to make good cinema popcorn. Shall we talk about this movie?
Yes, we shall.
So this movie, it's like starring cast is Ja Rule and Stephen Baldwin.
And Adrienne from the Cheetah Girls.
From the Cheetah Girls, yeah. Which neither of us picked up on, but Ness did.
I've never seen the Cheetah Girls, nor
me neither.
Care too much about them. Sorry,
I feel
girls.
Like it might have been on. I feel like it might have been on like the background in my childhood at some point. But I don't know. It's not one I know well. But the first thing I want to talk about is the opening sequence of this movie, which is the most cliched narration of all time.
Yeah, that's one thing to establish before even that, is this is based on a true story.
Yes.
Before we go into all of this and before we talk about the film, it may be slightly dramatized, but it's true.
Yes. It's based on a true story. And then the opening scene is like a montage of prison life and landscape shots. And all the while through this like montage of prison life, it's like Ja Rule doing the narration. It's like, man, I remember what it was like to be on the inside. I remember like my life being taken away from like every prison cliche ever. Mixed with every religious cliche ever.
Yeah.
And God got me through it. And I traded my soul to God. And well, no, you wouldn't trade his soul to God. That's like what you do with Satan.
Is it interchangeable in this film? Maybe.
Who's to say? And then you get the best shot of the entire movie, which is it's like a mum doing visitation, seeing her boyfriend or husband or whatever, and like she has the baby in her arms, and you see the name of the executive producer. Executive producer of this movie is God. Capital G, God. That's a bold claim, Ja Rule.
It's not even just capital G, it's capital G-O and D in that one.
Well, yes, but capital G God is like what you call Christian God.
Yeah, but it's like all the others haven't they got a change in the cases? So it's like J and then a lowercase a for Ja Rule. And this God was completely...
Possibly? I don't remember.
Like maybe just because I was taken aback by it, but it seemed to be more emphasized, unless, like you said, it's like a bold font or something.
It was certainly emphasized because, you know, God was the executive producer of this movie.
So that means he paid for this movie, essentially.
Yeah. So I looked this up. This movie had a budget of about $5 million, I think. Worldwide gross $2.5 million. So lost half of its budget. Whoopsie daisy.
God made a loss.
God made a big loss on this. So God dropped at least like $4 million on this movie from his God bank.
The Bank of God, also known as church donation hats.
Yeah. So this movie was executive produced by God, and I'm still fixating on it, but we need to talk about the rest of the movie. That's the thing. A lot of this movie isn't that interesting in a way.
As a whole, it's a very boring film. I'll give you that.
Yeah, it's a very preachy. It's a mixture of like the most preachy sermon film you've ever seen, mixed with like the most boring crime movie you've ever seen.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to work out whether it's just because it's set itself up with the two different... Is there a very good gangster film that is also where the characters are religious? There probably isn't.
Not that I can think
I think
of.
that's why, because they were trying to be a religious film, but they were also talking about gang crime that doesn't really lend itself to each other very well.
Yeah. It kind of had to be one or the other, and it was trying too hard to be both.
Yeah.
So the film is a very predictable plot from there. It's like the Ja Rule's character Miles, he's like living his gang lifestyle, living in his mansion.
Living his sweet gang life. Oh, bless him.
Yeah, super wealthy, super great life. Meets the girl, falls in love, starts going to church, cleans his act up, is chased by two gay detectives.
100%.
100%.
100%.
And in the end, his mum dies, his girlfriend falls into a coma. He promises, I'll give my life to God if she wakes up. She does. He becomes a pastor. His gang goes to prison. There's your movie. Done.
Well, how long did that take you to do that, sum up? Less than a minute. This was nearly, what was this, 2-hour film?
It's a feature-length film.
Yeah.
It was like 100 minutes.
Yeah.
Like an hour 40.
Yeah. Because that's what I did. Is I had a look at the timestamp because I wanted to write down how long it took to do a Bible reference, and it was 40 minutes before they quoted the Bible, and then that's when it was 1 hour 20 left.
Yeah. So it's like 2 hours.
Nearly, yeah.
I
suppose we should probably work through this bizarreness chronologically and see where we get to, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't have chronological notes. I'm assuming you do. I'll just kind of chime in.
Ish. Yeah. I've just written. I think I haven't even written down stuff about the film. I've just written down stuff that annoys me.
Well, yeah, I think that's what we're going to have to do, because like with previous movies, there's stuff to talk about, and this one, the scenes are very forgettable. I think it's the characters that mainly stand out to me.
Yeah, so like the beginning bit, they're dealing with the money that they've got, the laundering they're doing. I've just put, it took him a very long time to put his money in the bag, for a start. He took about 5 minutes to pick up 20 stacks of money that you could probably just slide in the bag.
Yeah, and then just like on.
Yeah, easily done that. And then it cuts to him taking them out of the bag and putting it in a safe. Just put the bag in the safe.
Yeah. Well, I suppose, just like dump it out, even.
Yeah, if you want to stacking it and like, then what else? Yeah, that was it. Because while he was doing this whole speech about being a gangster and all that stuff, and he was on about, people must assume that I'm rich because of the bad things I've done, because I've got no parents in sight. I was like, your parents are throughout this film.
Yeah, his parents are important characters, and also he is very rich.
Yeah, a lot of unless he's paid for his parents' house, he would have started off quite well off and then gone into the music business, done well from that, and then from that started doing laundry, where he got more money. But either still, his parents are there. Yeah.
And they're not like badly off.
Right.
He doesn't give them a lot of money, except later on in the film when he does buy them a holiday, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, but he could have done that more than once. You'd have to wait till he got a girlfriend to do that.
Yeah, I know. He's kind of a dick. So when he's stacking the money in the safe, that's when he's chatting to his mum, isn't it?
Yeah. Which I thought at first maybe this isn't his mum, because obviously he's talking about not having parents, but then it became very clear that it was his mum. Yeah.
Yep. And his dad is also in the picture. So, but yeah, he's talking to the mum, and the mum is on her computer, and she's looking at an advert for sandals with the great phone number 1-800-SANDALS.
What is that number? Let's have a look.
I mean,
I'm not going to call it.
Yeah.
7.
I mean, not that we have many listeners.
I kind of want to call it, see what happens, but it's an American number. It costs quite a lot.
Yeah, and plus you'll end up booking a holiday, which you can't go on right now.
Would be funny for the bit, though.
Yeah, so this movie one of its sponsors was Sandals. So executive produced by Garden Sandals, essentially, what we learned.
That makes sense. Is Sandals a Christian resort?
I don't think
because of Jesus wearing sandals. I
think it's just a holiday resort. They might have like a Christian owner, but I don't think it's specifically like you can only come to this if you're a Christian. That might be worth looking up.
Yeah, because I was trying to work out why they would sponsor this quite religious-based film.
But you get this scene here, which is like, man, I wish I could go on these sandals holidays. Look at these pictures. And then later on in the movie, when he's like dating Vanessa, who's the Shitty Girls actress character, the church girl from the title, if you will. It's Christmas time, and he buys them a holiday at a sandals resort. And the mum very nearly just is like, wow, check out all these features. You could book one yourself if you called this number.
It's almost
an advert.
They might have had an advert, then realised they had to cut it. You never know. It seems like it would be
very much like. It felt very much like you could cut some footage from that and then you put it on TV as a regular sandals advert with no context from the movie.
Yeah, and it wouldn't make any difference.
And it was really funny.
Yeah, there are some funny bits in this film, definitely.
Yeah. I love when, honestly, if you're going to do a product placement like that, you might as well make it as brazen as this movie did. I will respect it more than like native advertising in the background. My favorite one, I think it's in Space Jam, is like they were sponsored by BMW, Jordans, because obviously Michael Jordan's in the movie, and McDonald's.
Right.
And there's a scene where one of the actors says to the one, so put on your Jordans, hop in the Beamer, and we're going down to Mackie D's now. And it's like one sentence to get all three in one, and it's glorious.
It's such a Looney Tunes joke, isn't it, as well? It works so well.
God, they're still making that second Space Jam. We're going to have to get to that at some point.
But it won't be a bad film. I love Space Jam.
Do you think?
It's such a good... Space Jam's great.
Don't get me wrong. I love Space Jam. It is objectively not a great movie.
Yeah, okay, I'll let you off.
And a sequel like 30 years later, that's going to suck. And I can't wait. Anyway.
I've made a note of the music in this film, that when Miles and Vanessa first cross paths. Yes. So Miles is driving down through where are they? Downtown, wherever they are. I don't know where this
I want to say Los Angeles?
Let's say New York? Downtown LA is easy to say. And he's listening to very stereotypical, in quotation marks, gangster music, let's say.
Right.
And then her car comes past, and all of a sudden, very angelic sounds are heard over the top of his heavy bass music. And I just think that's really funny.
Yeah.
There's like, rap, and then, and she drives past, and then he sees her once and then decides to go 75 miles an hour past her, sort of basically stalking her until he gets pulled over.
Yeah, he gets pulled over, and like we know the police are after him because there's a whole thing where the DEA are on his tail. And let's get back to that in a second because it's great.
Yeah, that's the best part of this film.
The cops pull him over and don't do like an Al Capone thing with him and just like get him on that.
Because you could get him on a small thing for him, like putting other people in danger and clearly speeding.
Yeah, and then from there,
almost tailgating another lady's car, and then from there,
then from there, whatever.
If not, that's when the film should have ended.
Yeah,
but they needed to fill an hour and a half, so they had to let him off for no reason.
So throughout the movie, his crime organization is being tailed by two DEA agents, which is like, I don't know what DEA stands for.
I put Department
Drugs
of Evil.
and Evil Activity.
Department of
Evil Atheists.
Yeah, that's what I put.
Well, to be fair, we know Stephen Baldwin's character is a church-going man. There's a scene where he talks about it at the funeral. The Department of the Drugs and Evil Organization, for organizations spelled with an A.
We'll go with that.
Anyway, the Drugs and Evil Organization. Its two agents are Stephen Baldwin and
famously Alec Baldwin's dad.
Guy. Yeah, and Alec Baldwin's dad.
Yep.
I don't think that's right. I can't prove it, but I don't think it's right.
Right.
And then his companion agent, who's just some guy, and the sexual tension between these two is off the charts.
Oh, he is squeezing a firm pink ball for most of this film.
Yeah. They talk about like hunting down Joe Rule's character, but in such a way that you get like a real sense of obsession from them. And there is something like there's a scene where they have Joe Rule's character in interrogation, and Stephen Baldwin character is looking at it. It's like, come on, prove me wrong. And it's like, oh my God, you want to have sex with this man so bad.
Yeah. That's what I found is there's a lot of creepy characters in this film. There's something
Do you mean Vanessa's parents?
Oh, 100% mean Vanessa's parents, yeah. But like even these police officers are quite weird.
The chief's weird as well.
It's literally just the main two that are fine. The friend's a bit weird. I wrote down that I think that Wiki's a lizard. The scrawny white guy in the gang is just a lizard, I think.
The scrawny white guy in the gang is my absolute favorite character in this movie. It was his name, Wiki.
Yeah.
So whenever Wiki talks, he tries to speak like his like gangster friends, but he just says it in like the most normal voice.
Yeah.
So like all of his friends are saying like, yeah, dog, I got you, blah, blah, blah. And he is like, yes, I also have you, my dog. It's like, these cops blew up my spot, my man. It is so funny. It's so good.
Oh,
and then you see a shot of them. You see a shot of like at the end of the movie where it's like them as kids and them as grown-ups walking down a hallway, and like all of them are dressed quite nicely in the grown-up shot. And then Wiki is wearing this giant medallion over like a normal suit, and it's brilliant.
He's just a white Flavor Flav.
Yeah, he's Vanilla Ice.
What is wrong with people?
Going back to the Department of Evil Atheists, the chief, who we know isn't a religious man, so he is the evil atheist.
Yes.
At the start of the movie, when Stephen Baldwin's character comes in, Chief is like, you don't have enough on this guy, you have 1 day to catch him. That 1 day turns into a full year.
Unless this all happens in 1 day, it's a very dramatic film.
Well, no, because we know it. Like Christmas happens and Easter happens during the movie, and it starts in summer, it ends in like spring, I think.
Yeah, good 6 months almost, or more.
I was going to say it's about a year. Happens, I think. But the Stephen Baldwin character keeps going back to the chief and being like, no, I don't think I have anything. I think he might be a squeaky clean quiet boy. His exact phrasing, which is really weird phrasing. I don't like that at all.
I didn't even write that down. Squeaky clean quiet boy.
Clean quiet boy, yeah.
Oh, amazing.
And despite the chief saying at the start of the movie, you have 1 day to get this guy or I'm throwing your case out, every single time he comes to the chief's like, well, I'll give you a bit of an extension, why not?
They obviously don't care about him enough.
Yeah, there's the bit where like the scene where they have him in interrogation is just the weirdest thing, because like the two IRS agents come in and look exactly the same as each other. Oh yeah,
I put them down as the Russo brothers.
Yeah, I put it's George from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend and George's clone, which is a niche reference, but one I like. And they're interrogating him and doing a decent job, to be fair.
Yeah, this interrogations go.
Like Ja Rule isn't really giving them anything, but he's clearly rattled. Like, you keep pressing it, he would break eventually, I think. And then Stephen Baldwin turns to the chief and is like, no, we don't have anything. We're going to have to let him go. And then the chief's like, well, we can keep an eye on him a bit longer, I think. Despite me not wanting to do this investigation in the first place, we're going to keep doing it. And Stephen Baldwin's like, okay, fine, let's get him out of here. And the chief comes in, sends the IRS agents out, and then sits and interrogates him a bit more.
It's almost like they feel like it's almost like a Batman Joker, Sherlock Moriarty type dynamic where...
Is it?
Hear me out.
You might be giving this movie too much credit.
Oh, I am. In the case of this Stephen Baldwin character, has got so much evidence on him, but doesn't want to because the thrill of hunting him down and letting him go, that sort of thing. Like, no, the Batman without Joker's not really anything, sort of thing.
I see what you mean. My comparison I was thinking was like a Javert, Valjean kind of thing.
Yeah. That's probably a more calmer version of, terrorist.
Yeah, I don't think Stephen Baldwin is the Joker in this movie.
No.
Although, that might be fun. Have you ever eaten a Jaffa cake? Like, really eaten a Jaffa cake?
Yeah. Of course I have.
Well, have you ever eaten a big Jaffa cake?
Oh.
Bring you from McVitie's or whoever does Jaffa Cakes. This is a Jaffa cake the size of a goddamn house.
Whoa!
You want a Jaffa cake the size of your goddamn house? Too bad, it's coming anyway. It's going to crush your house and you're going to have to eat your way out. This Jaffa cake is so goddamn big. You know what else is so big about this goddamn Jaffa Cake? The orange inside of it. It's so orange.
Just like one real orange.
Yeah, no, it's a big pile of oranges. It's not the jam that you're used to. God no, it's unpeeled oranges the entire way through.
How do I sign up?
Well, first you need to go to www.youtube.com and search the word Jaffa Cake, and then wait.
Wow, how long do I wait?
Find you. About a week.
Nice. I'll wait now.
Big Jaffa Cakes. They're coming.
Ness, please put a Jaffa Cake there, thanks.
Anyway, Vanessa's parents are important to talk about as well, because the mum is doing a decent job. She's weird and she's off, but she's not bad exactly.
No, she's just
very
skeptical of a new man for her oldest daughter, middle.
I think
oldest.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Unclear. They all look about the same age.
Yeah.
Because she has like 3 daughters, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, she is constantly like, "Are you a church man?" And he's like, "I'm not sure." And then later on, she's like, "But are you a church man?" And he's like, "I'm not sure."
Yeah,
and
he's like, "I'm in
"But are
between
you a church
churches."
man?"
Yeah.
Yeah. And so whatever, she kind of does her job, which is to be a skeptical, like, foil to Miles. The dad, oh my god,
He's a. What did I don't know. I wrote some weird things about the dad. I'll find them while you're talking about him.
I think I don't know for sure, and again, I'm going to look this up. Also, I was looking up the guy from Sandals. He doesn't look to be particularly religious.
All right, okay. Well, I wrote something about the mum. I think, I think I just thought that the mum's definitely sacrificed someone before.
Oh, God.
And she's the one to read the Bible every night and, like...
Is this like a horror movie brewing in the background of this, do you think?
I know, she stares through my... She was definitely looking into my soul quite a lot.
I was just going to say, I'm trying to find the actor who played the dad, because I have to assume that was his first acting role.
It was great. I loved him. He was great.
He was terrible. It was great.
He's the person we needed in that film.
Yeah. I mean, he just, every single line he gave like it was his first time reading it and his first time delivering it. So
Probably
it was like when he met Miles for the first time, which is Jarrell's character, he was like, "Oh, hello, Miles. It is nice to meet you. I wonder if you're here to see my daughter." And that's the take they used. It was great when they were at the hospital and like his daughter's in a coma. He responds like, "Well, the doctors are seeing her. We've got to pray." Just no emotion. It's fantastic.
This film, man. This film. Another major pull at this film, unless you got something else to say about the dad.
No, you can go. You talk. I'm going to find the dad's actor.
Is a majority of this film is just introducing people to people.
Yeah, there's a scene where like when he's at the club with Vanessa and he's saying, "Oh, this is my new lady, Vanessa," to every single character in the scene.
Yeah, and then obviously the other way around is Miles goes to Vanessa's house and meets the whole family, and they don't talk and then they leave.
Yeah.
It's very bizarre. Very bizarre. Some more things I've written about meeting. When they meet for the first time, he rubs her hand in a handshake quite a lot. Very bizarre.
Yeah.
It's a weird handshake. Like, "Oh, I'm here for this job interview. Let me stroke the back of your hand."
I really enjoyed him being introduced to all the church friends because it was so clear that they were like not important at all. So it's like, "Hi, this is Miles. Hi, this is Karen. Oh, hi, Miles. This is Carol. Oh, hi, Miles. This is Mary. Oh, hi, Miles. This is Vanessa. Well, hello."
That sounded better than the actual film.
Yeah.
While we're in that conversation, I misheard one of the lines, and she was talking about him like being into stocks because see, that's how he got his money. And
Yes.
I thought she said to him, "Oh wow, so young and into socks." I was like, "What?" I had to be correct. Just like this is what's this got to do with the film? But even if she said that, I don't think it'd have made a difference because the film's that weird.
It's possible that the guy who played the dad was uncredited for this movie.
John Malkovich.
I can't find him on IMDb anywhere unless I'm missing something. Whatever. I've got to assume he doesn't have any other acting credits because that guy was terrible. I've got who else? The guy who it was like the guy who introduces Miles to Vanessa, his money guy, who was like, "You're my one cool friend." T-Bone.
I don't know what his name is, but T-Bone played
that wasn't T-Bone. That wasn't T-Bone. T-Bone was the guy in the hat on the phone.
Was he? I don't know.
Yeah, I think they were both called Martin, which is confusing. But,
right. So Martin was his friend, but Martin was also played by T-Bone.
Yes, different Martin was played by T-Bone. But his friend, his delivery was really weird as well. He felt like he was like he felt like he was pitching me to join a cult whenever he talked.
Which one? The right-hand man, Martin?
No, the guy who's like the old white guy who introduces Miles to Nessa.
Oh, that guy.
That guy, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whenever he spoke, you fell out of your chair though, didn't you?
Yep.
Whenever that guy spoke,
went really back, really far. I was like, "Oh no, carry on."
Whenever that guy spoke, I thought he was going to be like, "So here's some literature. Why don't you join Scientology?"
It was like that, definitely.
He was like, "I wouldn't call myself a Christian. I would call myself a man of faith. I'm a member of the Church of Scientology, and you can join too and become one with Xenu." It was creepy. Yeah. T-Bone, who is a rapper who is mentioned in the film, they go to Vanessa works at like a Christian store.
I've got a lot to say about that shop.
And yeah, well, go ahead.
We're going to explain the shop first, and I'll talk about the members of staff there. Okay,
yeah. So it's like a Christian tourist shop, I guess. It's like tacky merch and like bumper stickers and stuff.
Yeah.
Like a gift shop for Christianity. But one of the things that he finds there is a CD by T-Bone, who is a real rapper.
Yeah.
And Jerry Rule's like, this guy looks like a real gangster, and his picture is just him as Che Guevara.
He's not a religious rapper, is he, T-Bone?
He might be. Also, the picture of him on the back cover, he kind of looked like Weird Al to me a little bit. But anyway, T-Bone himself appears in the movie playing a character, which was a weird thing. And his character is like a man in a hat who spins around in a chair and is like, yes,
no, T-Bone is the friend.
And who was the guy in the hat?
I don't know. This is why I was confused. T-Bone was like the right-hand man. That's what I was saying. They're both called Martin. It's confusing.
Yeah.
Unless it was him.
Weird.
Unless it was, I don't know, unless it was the same guy.
Whoever it was, the guy in the hat who just spins around in a chair in one scene is on the phone with Jerry Rule and he's just like, hey, can I get my drugs? And he's like, yeah, sure. He's like, great.
Can we talk about how he answers the phone, though?
Oh, yeah.
What's buzzing, cousin?
A lot of the way people talk in this movie is not a way that humans speak. I think it's fair to say.
I think it is religious white people trying to write more street people of colour.
Yeah, and not knowing what they're doing.
Yeah, because even the friends that were like, oh, we better have a black guy, we better have a Latin guy, but we better throw in an Asian guy, better throw in the little white guy who tries to speak like everyone else.
And I think Joe Rule was just like, spell my name right on the check.
See it that way. Yeah.
Oh, no. There's one more scene I'd like to talk about before we move on, which is
I've got quite a lot to talk about if you want as well.
Okay, yeah. If you got more to talk about, then please feel free. If you want to talk about one more scene,
just some quick lines that I've written down. But carry on about the church.
Yeah, so he goes to a hospital chapel, and there's a big stained glass Jesus in there. And he has this big speech to the stained glass Jesus about how he wants to save Vanessa's life and how he's angry that his mum died. And he yells one of my favorite lines in the entire movie, which is, "You want to send me to hell? Buck me the plane," or something like that. It's incredible. Because hell is not up.
Nope. There's not much else to say about that. Hell is not up.
Yeah. Yep. And that entire scene, I was just praying. This entire movie, I was praying for something magical to happen. Just one little supernatural thing.
Yeah.
And I was really hoping it would be that scene. And it would be like the stained glass Jesus had like one tiny little panel of blue glass to be his eye. I wanted it to wink so badly. That would have killed me.
Oh, I'll quick fire through these because we haven't got. Okay. We do have all day. We're not doing anything else, but we don't need to bore your people. I said that basically it was a Disney soundtrack. It sounded like Snow White was going to come out with like a bird in the hand for a lot of the time when they talk about Vanessa. Some quotes. Vanessa asks Miles, "You know what yolk is?" And he replies, "Something to do with eggs, right?"
Yep. Great.
Oh, nope. I'm saying about how she tries to be really religious, and then as soon as he speaks to a female friend, she gets really jealous. So I put Kanye quietly plays in the background. I thought I was funny to myself there.
I enjoy it.
Yeah. When they were probing the salmon, they're cooking the salmon.
Yeah. They've got like salmon on a pan on a hob, and he like prods it with his spatula. Yeah. The salmon is entirely uncooked, and the hob is clearly not
on. He says you got to answer the phone when he calls you, Dig. Talking about God.
Yep.
God doesn't call. Funny that. When they're in the church, they say this Muslim speaker is speaking, and I put, really? What else would speakers do?
Yeah.
It's very Vanessa.
There's I'm remembering where he reads the Bible and finds a passage that he thinks is about like premarital sex.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, the Bible says you can have sex once you're married, and that nearly leads to them breaking up because Ja Rule gets so pissy about it.
And then talk about them nearly breaking up. She shouts, "God help me." And then in the most pathetic fallacy way, it starts raining outside.
And then God
helps crying.
Her by killing his mum.
And then the mum dies.
Oh, I shouldn't laugh. But
I've put it down as funny. One of the most unconvincing deaths in a while. She sort of just went...
I mean, that scene was great because like she prayed for his help to stop him like going out with other women, and she does that by killing Ja Rule's mom. There was something else in the scene that really made me laugh, and I can't remember what it was.
I'm going to get to something that you've forgotten, but it was one of your favourite lines.
Okay.
Vanessa said it's windy. They're outside. What else?
Sorry, one more thing.
You go.
I think this is set in LA, right? That's the assumption we're making.
Let's say
it rains LA, a lot for Los Angeles.
Let's say it's Detroit.
Okay, because if it's like Detroit or New York, no, it's definitely West Coast because he mentions that he deals dealings with the East Coast and that keeps him up early. So it's definitely LA. Why is it raining so much?
Well, yeah, it has to be somewhere like LA because there's not major landmarks that they use for films. They always use the Golden Gate Bridge and they use places of New York as just like establishing shots. So it must be something like that.
Yeah. But for a city this big on the West Coast, it's going to have to be San Francisco, San Diego, or LA. It's definitely not San Francisco because I never see the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah.
If it's San Diego or LA, it's going to be rainy. And it's definitely not. I mean, it's not going to be rainy, and definitely is in this movie. That's a minor thing, but that's kind of weird.
It was still annoying, though, isn't it? It was God, basically, saying your mum's about to die.
God did it.
I've put that the dad smiles too wide. I think he looks through people's windows.
Oh.
Yeah. Randomly once they said, "It's me, Agent McDaniel, dude." Unless I misheard that. Okay. And one thing you haven't said that you have forgotten, one of your favourite lines was, "I'm Mr. Confidential."
Oh yeah.
So I say that quite blasé, so you can talk about Mr. Confidential. Yeah.
So the Ja Rule proposes on a private jet to Vanessa. We never see where they land, by the way. We don't see where they go. Anyway, and then Stephen Baldwin Cop shows up at the airfield and he's like, "I need to see the flight path of that previous plane." And the woman's like, "Oh, sorry, that's confidential." And he holds up the Department of Evil Atheist badge and goes, "Don't worry, I'm Mr. Confidential." My favorite superhero.
I just right. Yeah, that was it. Some annoyance I put down that when he gets up to to dedicate his life to the church afterwards, he gets up the most awkward way, like when you're in a cinema or a theatre and you're in the middle. You go through the one with the most people. That's annoying. And then also the last thing I want to say, just because I am rambling, is that Jerry, one of the guys, I don't know if he was a sports star or someone, like he is actually a famous person when they're in the club.
Yeah. He's like a linebacker or something.
Right. I said that his scene was almost as awkward as the "Hey Doggy" scene from, or "Hi Doggy" from The Room.
From The Room.
Like, "Oh, hi Vanessa, it's me, Jerry. Oh, hi Jerry, I'm your biggest fan." Is what it sounded like.
Customer.
Is literally what it was like for me.
Yeah.
Oh, this film, man. This film.
I had a great time though.
Yeah.
This is definitely a so bad it's good movie.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be it's not going to be as instantly accessible to a lot of people as like The Room or The Wicker Man or anything that kind of so bad it's good. It's one that's like, if you're a connoisseur of this kind of thing, as I think we have become, you'll sit down and watch it and think, "Oh my God, what am I looking at?"
Yeah. Because it was one of those things, before I put this on yesterday, I was thinking to myself, why am I putting myself through this? It's not something you like. Sonic was a fun film and it was easy to watch. It was something last week I could sit down with my food and enjoy. This week I had to sort of mentally prepare myself, but that's what we're about. We're about mentally preparing ourselves for this rubbish. You don't have to
We've been through worse.
It was, unlike Freddy Got Fingered, this was one that was bearable to watch and appreciate as a bad film.
Yes.
I think, rather than that one being just unwatchable because of what it was. This was...
Yeah.
You're watching it knowing it's bad and you can appreciate it because it's bad.
Yeah. Fun to make fun of.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Well, that's the end of my church rant.
And speaking of church, I'd like to take us to a philosophical place now. I don't consider myself religious. I consider myself spiritual. And let's loosen our spirits with a little bit of filmosophy. Did you like that transition?
I hate you so much.
So this week on Filmosophy, I brought some Ja Rule quotes since he was our star. I kind of wanted to do God quotes, but like I know a few religious people. I don't want to piss them off. So let me bring you some Ja Rule quotes. So Ja Rule has said this, which is, "I love to see my family together. That's what life is about. It's about family." And I think that's pretty nice. I think that's pretty important to live by, you know? Family is important, and life can be about family. Let me bring you another Ja Rule quote real quick, which is that, "Right now, I'm pro leave beef alone. Big shout out to all the vegetarians who don't want beef." And, you know, I try to live by that. I mean, I'm not a vegetarian and I really like beef, but, you know, sometimes we should leave it alone. And I try to live by that. Let me bring you one more Ja Rule quote. Let me take a breather and remember my previous 2 quotes to calm down.
I'm annoyed.
I'm a breakfast type of guy. Don't get me wrong, I can cook. I kind of nice on the burner. But I enjoy making breakfast. I do it all. Scrambled eggs, French toast, pancakes. Breakfast is my thing. And I try to live like that. I think we can learn something deep and spiritual from Ja Rule's love of breakfast. And this, my friends, has been your Filmosophy. No Mustomu.
So bad.
Beef one really got to you.
Well, see, when you're a vegetarian, you don't eat any meat. This is just, I'm choosing not to eat beef for methane reasons.
I mean, to be fair, the cattle industry is the one that's hurting the planet the most out of all the meaty ones.
Yeah, so like, you could say, I resent eating red meat, not I'm a vegetarian. Oh, Jared.
I'm pro leaving beef alone.
He was eating salmon. He was eating salmon, Matt.
Well,
he's a vegetarian. He was eating salmon. That's probably why he can't cook it, because he don't know how to turn on an oven.
Well, look, man, I don't know when these quotes are from. I just find them. He might have become a vegetarian after the movie. He might have stopped being a vegetarian since the movie. Who knows? All I know is Ja Rule's good at cooking breakfast.
I'll let him have that. He didn't mention he didn't mention like bacon or anything, so it may make sense. That's why he didn't eat the salmon. It does make sense.
That's why he left the salmon uncooked.
It makes sense.
He got the salmon for his girlfriend, who is a cheetah girl, so she needs to eat big things.
Raw meat.
It
all makes sense now.
It all joins together.
This film is a masterpiece. It all makes sense now. The Easter eggs were right there.
Should we try and make something even better?
I don't know. Can we make it better? It was a perfect film now. I've seen it in a different light. God has entered me, and I've entered him.
Oh.
He loved it.
I mean, did he let you into the private bank of God, if you know what I mean?
Yes.
Anyway, let's do the part of our show that this is.
How we got our name.
Yeah.
The Electric Boogaloo section of our podcast.
Electric Boogaloo, yeah. Which, by the way, I learned something interesting. Apparently, some alt-right people have started using like Boogaloo as a term for like their organization. I'd like to say, if any alt-right people are watching, go away. We don't want you here.
I don't know what I was going to say. I was going to say something, but nah, don't know what it was going to be.
Nazis go to hell.
Up, in case you didn't know where it was. It's up.
Yeah, Nazis get on a plane and go to hell. So, new movie based on I'm in Love with a Church Girl.
Okay.
It's going to be, for me, it's got to be someone who falls in love with someone from a different kind of institution.
Right, so, rather than picking a different religion. Because I feel that I think us talking about a Christian film is going to be a little easier than talking about another religion's film.
Yeah, I don't want to be like making broad statements about Hinduism.
No.
So what I'm talking about is this is my pitch for the movie. I'm in love with a Labour girl. So it is an apolitical person.
Okay.
Who gets into politics because he falls in love with a Labour politician. This movie is paid for by the Labour Party and by Butlins.
We have to have a sponsor, right? I'll start thinking of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's executive produced by Karl Marx. It's a very left-wing movie.
Right.
So this movie stars... it's got to be someone who is apolitical, and it has to be something that like has a job that conflicts with a political agenda. So it's a CEO of like a major corporation.
Jeff Bezos,
who like through the movie learns to be good and like donates the money, and the CEO is going to be played by Chris Pine.
Okay, right. Okay.
I think that's a pretty good shout for like a young CEO type, you know.
Okay.
He's going to be doing his British accent, which I'm assuming he can do. Does he do it in Wonder Woman? I feel like he does. I can't remember. It's been a while.
Seen it, but he's English. His character's English, so surely he should be able to.
And no, I think he plays an American in Wonder Woman. I don't know. It's been a while. He can do a British accent, though. I'm fairly sure.
Let's give him the benefit of the doubt.
Anyway,
he can do one.
Anyway, and then he's driving down the street in his fancy car, whatever it is. Sorry, actually, going back a second, I want to talk about one quote from the movie that I'd forgotten about, which is he's talking to a pastor who's like got a Lamborghini.
Yes.
Yeah, he's talking to. This is back in I'm in Love with the Church Girl. He's talking to a pastor who has a Lamborghini, and Ja Rule says like, "Well, I don't drive no Lambo to church, do I?" But he does drive a Bentley and lives in a mansion,
an 8-bedroom mansion on his own, and he sleeps on the sofa.
Yeah,
I may add.
Yeah. Anyway, going back to my movie, I'm in Love with the Labour Girl. So he's driving down the street in his fancy car, and he sees a woman on the corner of a street who is played by Sarah Millican. I wanted to make it weird. And she's protesting, and he falls in love with Sarah Millican. And it's a love story where he learns about politics and he learns to be like a good left-wing person. All the while he's being scouted out by HMRC to Her Majesty's Royal Anti-Cap. It's HMRA, and it's Her Majesty's Royal Atheists.
Okay.
And the two HMRA agents are, it's going to be a young British character actor. So I'm thinking, well, not young, but younger than the other person I'm going to say, who is Steve Buscemi. The younger one is going to be Martin Freeman, because why not? And those two have ridiculous sexual tension together. They end up, like, they make out at the end of every single scene.
That's a bizarre image.
Yeah, right? This movie's going to be weird. And then by the end of the movie, Chris Pine dissolves his corporation, donates all his money to charity. His board of governors goes to jail because they're all arseholes, I guess. I don't know. His board of governors are all going to be played by the same actor, and that actor is going to be Jimmy Carter. I don't know. I've got British comedians in this movie. And he goes to prison, and it's all him in different mustaches as his board of governors. And then at the end of the movie, Chris Pine runs for Prime Minister.
Does he get it?
You don't find out.
Oh, no. Is that a second one? Does that just finish?
Cliffhanger.
Oh, no.
It's cliffhanger, and it never gets resolved.
Oh, no.
So that's I'm in Love with a Labour Girl, starring Chris Pine and Sarah Millican.
So yours was someone does something, and there's someone who doesn't have an opinion on that and has the opinion. Mine is going the other way. So mine is I'm in love with a Tesco girl, right? Okay. And Liam Neeson is a checkout guy in Waitrose, okay?
Right.
A higher class, expensive. I don't mind saying it. It's expensive. It's overly expensive.
It's for poshers.
For what it is. Yeah. I always argue Marks and Spencer, if you look the right place, very affordable. Waitrose, I'm not spending £4 for a crisp. Anyway. One crisp. So Liam Neeson works at Waitrose.
That's a sentence I'll never get tired of.
And he wants a meal deal. So he goes to Tesco's because he knows the meal deals are really good if you work out the right price. If you get a naked smoothie, you're basically paying for the meal deal yourself. Anyway, regardless of the meal deal choice, he goes, let's do his meal deal. He has a weird meal deal. What's the worst meal deal you can think of? Whatever you can think of right now is Liam Neeson's meal deal of choice. So
we're talking like... it's one of those awful, like, green naked smoothies. It's got like the kale and.
Well, they're good. They're good. Prawn mayo sandwich. Who picks that?
Prawn mayo sandwich. I definitely agree with you on that. The snack is going to be like, it's going to be like the worst kind of chocolate, or like it's like you can get like those like taffy bars sometimes in a meal deal.
Yeah,
it's one of those.
We'll go one of those, and we'll go with just a bottle of water.
Oh, well, no, because sometimes you do want a bottle of water with a meal deal. I've been known to do that before.
You've got to make the most of the money from the meal deal. You can just buy a bottle of water for like 80p extra. Get yourself like a little fruit juice and get some water afterwards.
Well, yes, and obviously that's what
we'll do. Either that, or we'll give him like the iced coffee.
Yeah, that's not going to pair well with his other meal.
Prawn mayo sandwich. So this is what he goes to. He goes to the little checkout and like, who would happen to be there? Susan Boyle.
Susan Boyle
is a Tesco checkout girl. Well, basically, what I wanted to do, there was an Irish lady from who worked at Tesco who was on like X Factor, but I can't remember her name. I wanted her to be in it, but Susan Boyle.
But Susan Boyle.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, he's like, what am I doing? I'm working at Waitrose, where I spend £7 on a banana, where I could be getting prawn mayo and iced coffee every day from this beautiful young lady. So what he does...
Beautiful young lady, Susan Boyle.
Is he picks up the same meal deal every single day until Susan Boyle knows he's going to be in, and it's ready there on the till for him every lunchtime. And then Susan Boyle dies.
What a twist.
But she has a sister.
Who plays Susan Boyle's sister?
Will Wheaton.
Oh, that's what I love about this show. You never know who's going to come out of that mouth next.
But he works for Sainsbury's.
Oh, and he's going to try and find...
And then they fall in and out of love, realise that he can't get the right meal deal from Sainsbury's. So he has to go to Boots.
It's just not as good.
He has to go to Boots.
Boots is my meal deal of choice.
Boots,
so
if you get one of the flatbreads, great choice. I love the good Moroccan flatbread.
I would go for Boots. I would tend to go for the wraps personally.
The wraps are good in Boots as well. They're very good wraps. And she
that would be my meal deal.
Is played by
I'm so excited.
Jennifer.
Which one? If you can't pick, I do have a suggestion.
I don't want Jennifer Hudson. I don't want Jennifer Aniston, but I want someone called Jennifer, please.
Well, I was going to suggest in every scene it's a different Jennifer.
We'll do that.
They're all playing the same character, but in one scene it's Jennifer Lawrence, in one scene it's Jennifer Aniston, in one scene it's Jennifer Lopez, it's Jennifer Hudson.
Yeah, we'll do that. They're cousins of the two sisters, Susan Boyle and Will Wheaton, but they are quadruplets. But they also look very, very different.
Very different. Yeah.
The premise of this film is Liam Neeson thought he was in love with a Tesco girl, but realised all he does is love prawn mayo sandwiches and doesn't really care about the people around them as long as they can get the best deal on a prawn mayo sandwich. So at the end, he realised he's in love with a prawn mayo sandwich, and that's the moral of the story is if you have a favourite food, you'll do anything for it.
So we're between I'm in love with a Labour girl and I'm in love with a prawn mayo sandwich.
It's called I'm in love with a Tesco girl, but it's a little twist.
I think we have to go with that. I'm in love with the idea of Liam Neeson like ending the movie just like passionately kissing a prawn mayo. And then can there be a scene in the movie where he can't find a prawn mayo sandwich in one of the shows? He goes to like Asda and they don't have a prawn mayo sandwich.
Yeah, and
so he's like, I'll get
the salmon.
So he gets he gets like a sandwich and then gets like prawn cocktail crisps and discovers he hates prawn cocktail crisps. And it's like a conflict of like, do I really like prawns that much? And then he realizes the prawn cocktail doesn't taste like prawns; it just tastes like death.
Well, the prawn cocktail is just the sauce, isn't it? So it's basically just mayo and ketchup.
Yeah, it's horrifying.
Yeah, that's my movie.
Yeah, and that's the one I think we're going to go with this week.
He's brought it back.
So are we 2 for 2 now?
Yeah, I need to write this down right. So the first one, we can actually, we should. I know what we should do. We should decide how many episodes we're doing for like a series, and then we're going to make movie posters of these.
Perfect. So the first one was You, Me, and Judy.
You, Me, and Judy.
Second one was my Little Shop of Horrors remake.
Yeah, so it was just Little Shop of Horrors, wasn't it?
Yeah. Third one was Legend of Zelda: A Link to Tom Holland.
A Link to Tom Holland.
A Link to Tom Holland, yes. And then this one is I'm in love with a Tesco girl. Brackets, I'm in love with a prawn mayo sandwich.
Hey, Tesco girl. Oh, these are going to be bizarre posters.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some good cast people on these. Very good cast. Yeah. Oh. But I've got an idea. And if we get one like on this video, I'm going to make them. I'll just like it myself because I want to do it.
I was going to say, I'm going to like this video. So
we're going to make movie posters over the course of like the first block of these podcasts. But we're also going to do Where's Steve Buscemi in posters. Like a Where's Wally. He will be there.
Wally, but it's
it'll be the same face the whole time, but I'm just going to change the colour so he blends into the background. And where is he? He could for like yours, he'll probably be really prominent. Because he's Ganondorf.
So he cast him in big roles.
In your Zelda, he's like Ganondorf, isn't he?
I think so.
But he's not in I'm in Love with the Tesco Girl. Is he going to be on the face of one of the prawns? We don't know.
I was going to say he's hiding in a prawn mayo sandwich.
Yeah. So there you go. That's my task because I've got nothing better to do.
Perfect. I think that's going to end it for this episode.
I've gone downhill. I've gone downhill.
Yeah, you can see this quarantine has driven us fully insane. I just checked the time. I think we've been recording for like an hour 20 at this point.
It's because this is the most to talk about.
Yeah. So we'll see you next week, everyone. And as always, Keenan, would you please leave us with the famous outro to the show?
Yes. ELECTRIC. Spells electric. Thank you. This has been your spelling teacher. Goodbye.
Bye.